morning. I'd like to call to order tonight's regular voting meeting of the Douglasville City Council for July 20th, 2026. I'm jumping ahead a little there. Tonight's invocation will be by the most illustrious Pastor James Harper of the First Presbyterian Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by our own illustrious councilman, Mr. Howard Estes.
It's good to see y'all. Let's pray. Oh, Lord our God, we come to you with gratitude for all you have given to us, the provisions you have offered us in this place, this community that we love, that we care so much about. We're grateful, and out of gratitude, we come to serve you. And I'm grateful for these people who have stepped up in elected roles to serve. I'm also grateful for all the people, from the most behind-the-scene ones to the up-front ones and staff, who have dedicated their life to make this place a community that is blessed and generous and good to those who live in it. Grateful for them. Protect those who labor to make that possible. And God, I pray that your good grace would be upon these leaders tonight as they wrestle through the matters before them. Give them wisdom beyond their own expectations. And we pray these things in Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Estes, and thank you very much, Pastor Harper. It's greatly appreciated. We will now move on to the announcements for the evening, and I will now go over the protocol for tonight's meeting. Just in case you don't adjust your dial, I am Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller, filling in for our Mayor, Rochelle Robinson. Would like to welcome you all again to the meeting. This is a City Council regular meeting of agenda items where official action will be taken tonight. We will be playing with live ammo and actually voting. So these agenda items were discussed during the legislative work session on previous Thursday. If the business you are here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda item comments from citizens and delegates to discuss your business. Now, the protocol for this evening will be as such. We ask that you keep your comments and presentation on a professional level, dealing with facts that are important to this governing body to make their decision. We will not accept comments that are considered by the chair to be a personal attack on any individual or group of individuals. You will receive a warning from the chair if you deviate from this requirement. A second deviation will result in a request that you leave the chambers and premises for the evening. Only one person will be talking at a time. Please do not applaud or react to speakers, speak from the audience, cheer, clap, carry on a conversation with others in the audience, or disrupt the order of the meeting in any way. We are only required to accept public comment during the required public hearings. We are not required to accept public comment on other items before the council. If you have a cell phone or other electronic device, please power it off or put it into silent mode. The agenda items will be handled as follows. The committee chairperson will read the agenda item, then the person representing the agenda item or the applicant will make his or her presentation. The mayor and members of council will possibly ask questions of the applicant or seek additional information. Because these items were discussed on Thursday night during our legislative work session, we will not take questions or comments regarding each item during this meeting. Tonight is a voting meeting, and we will either move to approve, deny, or take no action on each item as presented. Prior to approaching the podium, please fill out one of the speaker sign-in cards, which is on the table outside by the door. Give that card to the city clerk on my right. At the podium, state your name and address for the record, and state whether you are in favor or against a particular item, and/or proceed with your comments. It's not a question and answer format, even if it devolves into that sometimes. It is not a debate format. We are here to receive information regarding each agenda item. Please address your comments to the chair, not to the members of the audience or to the applicant or city staff. Any printed information used for the review should be submitted in advance to the city's clerk's office. Most of what we do, you probably learned in kindergarten, so you know how this works. So we will move on to the first item on our agenda tonight, which is the approval of said agenda, and that is the adoption of the regular meeting agenda for this evening, July 20th, 2026, and I will open the floor for a motion to approve that agenda.
So moved.
We have motion from Councilman Estes. Do we have a second?
Second.
Councilman Caldwell has seconded it. Is there any discussion or issue regarding the agenda? If not, those in favor of the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda for this evening is approved. We will now move on to the approval of the minutes of July 2nd, 2026, Committee's legislative work, and the minutes of July 6th, 2026, of the committees and the regular meeting. I will open the floor for a motion to approve the minutes of such dates as announced.
So moved.
Councilman Estes has made motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Caldwell calls the second again. Any discussion regarding the minutes? Any corrections? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of approving the minutes of said dates, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Next item is the consent agenda for this evening, and that will be, we'll open the floor for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Oh, yeah, and I think that was Councilman Watts got the edge on that one.
Second.
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 Councilman Caldwell? That was Councilman Estes, sorry. Second from Councilman Estes. Do we have any comments, questions, or issues regarding the consent agenda? Hearing none, those in favor of approval of the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Hearing none, the consent agenda is approved. We will now move on to the various committees at this time. The first committee is the Economic Development Committee, and we'll go to the vice chair on that, Councilwoman Nicole Miller.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We have no business this evening for economic development.
Thank you, Councilwoman Miller. Our next committee is the Finance Committee, and that is chaired by Councilman Chris Watts.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We have one item tonight under Finance, to hold a public hearing to consider the proposed 2026 ad valorem tax millage rate for maintenance and operations. This happens to be our second public hearing, and Ms. Karen Callan will lead the way on this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. My name is Karen Callan. I'm the Chief Financial Officer and Assistant City Manager for the City of Douglasville. This is our second of 3 required public hearings for the annual tax millage rate. And state regulations require us to message this information in a very specific way, so it can be very confusing at times. So I've got a brief PowerPoint that goes through some of the common questions that we get each year. First of all, we have 2 different rates that are applied on the tax bill. We have the M&O rate, which stands for maintenance and operations. And then we have a bond millage rate, which is our millage rate that is restricted to pay debt service on our bonds. The total of the 2 make up your total tax rate. This year, the bond rate is decreasing, and again, due to state regulations, we are not required, or we cannot advertise this in our required advertisements that the bond millage rate is decreasing. All right, there are 2 entities. We have the tax assessor's office that values the city property annually. Sometimes we get the question, does the city of Douglasville come up with a valuation of your property? The city of Douglasville does not. It's the tax assessor's office. Earlier, I looked it up. We had a question in the public hearing this morning that when is the deadline to file? I looked it up, and it is July 31st. And if you will go to the Douglas County website, to the tax assessor's office, there's a form that you can file if you have an issue with the valuation of your property. And the tax commissioner's office is responsible only for billing and collecting taxes. For our maintenance and operations, we're proposing no increase this year at 8.749. Our bond millage is decreasing 1.287 to 0.9. Total together, there is a 4.86% decrease, and the final rate is proposed to be 9.649. The millage rate will decrease at 0.387. an assessment example of, and every person and property is highly individualized, but if your property tax bill last year was $350,000 and your current year assessment is $350,000, there is no tax increase this year. For the bond rate, if your prior year assessment is $350,000, your current year assessment is $350,000, there will be a decrease of $54.18. Back to the M&O, if your home value increases and you apply the same millage rate as the prior year, you will have more property taxes due. So that's why we have to advertise for a tax increase. The total makeup of our tax digest, we have 13% of new growth, which are new properties, new buildings, new commercial entities that came onto the digest. Then for our reassessed property, it's 7% increase of our total digest. And then our carry forward of our base digest makes up about 80%. Our digest detail, we're seeing this year a 101% increase in our commercial personal property. That was the largest growth that we've seen this year. And commercial personal property is machinery and equipment, it's movable equipment. For our commercial real property, we saw a 24% increase. In industrial real property, a 78% increase. In residential real property, 11% increase. The justification for maintaining the millage rate is for inflationary costs to provide services have increased to the city. That positions the city to adapt effectively to future legislative changes. Currently, the legislation is discussing a cap on residential assessed values of a CPI, or around 3%, but that legislation is still in session. Provide tax stability. Over the past couple of years, we have maintained our millage rate at the level of 8.749. And also, by not incurring new bonded debt, we are providing tax relief by lowering the bond millage rate. This is the second of 3 required public hearings. The final public hearing will be August 3rd at 5 p.m. and a special call meeting to adopt the millage rate August 3rd at 5:30 p.m. And at this time, during this public hearing, we will take comments. If you have any specific nuanced questions, you have my email address listed up here. I'll be happy to meet with you on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cowan. At this time, I would like, before I open the public hearing, any comments from council? Okay. At this time, I'd like to open our public hearing. If you have any comments about what you've heard, and as Ms. Cowan explained, if you have questions, there will be a way to get those answered, but not necessarily at this time. But the microphone on my right, your left, is where you come if you'd like to speak, and give us your name and address for the record. Anybody that would like to come forward and comment on what Ms. Cowan presented. And if you don't have anything today, we will have one more of these on August the 3rd. Last chance. Okay. Thank you, everybody that came to specifically for this item, and Ms. Cowan does a great job always explaining that. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, we will adjourn our public hearing at this time, and that's all we had tonight under finance.
Thank you, Councilman Watts. Our next committee is the Housing and Community Affairs Committee, and that is chaired by Councilwoman Elena Hudson.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We have no items under the Housing and Community Affairs Committee this evening.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hudson. Our next committee is the Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee, and that our vice chair is Councilwoman Nicole Miller.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We have no business this evening.
Thank you, Councilwoman Miller. Our next committee is Personnel and Organization, and that is chaired by Councilman Howard Estes.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We have no business tonight for the Personnel and Organization Committee.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. Our next committee is Planning and Development, chaired by Councilwoman Nicole Miller.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Yep, we do have a couple of items this evening. Our first item is item number 26-220. Says to consider requests for a variance from section 8.01 of the Unified Development Ordinance to reduce the side yard parking setbacks for 2.0 acres located at 1425, Municipal Parkway and Land Lot 735, District 18, Section 2, Parcel ID 0016, application by MHL Solutions Incorporated. And Ms. Tubbs is down here to go over this item with us.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council. There are no additional updates for this variance request, sorry.
Okay. I do have one question. I'm not sure if it's of you or the applicant. I was just curious. I know that we had, or I had asked last week if there was already a truck route in place for that. Did we verify? Do we know that there is a good solution for that?
Not that I know of. I don't know if the applicant is.
But
The applicant is here.
okay.
Okay.
Right. And I think that that was brought up to me after a meeting, but I just wanted to verify that we had that in place. Do you mind? Can you come up for us, please? And will you just give us your name and address for the record?
Good evening. Larry Hurst, MHL Solutions, 2 Autry Road, Auburn, Georgia, 30011.
Thank you. I know after our meeting last week, I had a couple conversations, went and asked people, and I think that it may have been Mayor Pro Tem that when we were talking that we discussed that it could have been Fairburn Road and that 92 to get your
It is
trucks up.
surrounded by other parcels within a heavy industrial district.
Right.
So there must be a way for trucks there must be an established truck route for everything
I would assume
surrounding.
there is. I was just hoping that you guys had already looked into that because I know some of the streets going from the interstate to this parcel are no truck route. So I just wanted to make sure that we were looking at it. That's all.
I did not follow up on it. I don't know if anyone else in the planning office did.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I do believe the truck route would be following Highway 92 from the interstate to the intersection of Veterans Memorial and then Veterans Memorial also leading to Municipal
Or
Parkway.
it would be 92 to the new 92 exchange,
yes,
Fairburn Road to the
the-
new 92
Correct.
exchange.
The new 92 to Veterans Memorial, which is then also is a truck route, so,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So I do believe that there's a fluid, continuous truck route.
All right. I'm not trying to belabor it. I just wanted to make sure that we were looking into the things that we
My
should.
apologies for not researching that.
That's right. It takes a village. Okay. Well, that was my last question. Not Madam Mayor, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Mayor Pro Tem,
People
Council, do
confuse
you
us all the
guys?
time.
I know, right? You're just so pretty. Does anyone have any questions of the applicant? No? Okay. Well, with that being said, I make a motion that we approve item number 26-220.
We have a motion on the floor to approve item 26-220. Do we have a second?
Second.
Councilman Estes has seconded. Do we have any further discussion or comment regarding this item? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving item 26-220, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 26-220 is approved.
Thank you. Excuse me, I have a lot of pop-ups. Our next item is item number 26-219. Says to consider a request for a variance to amend the condition from the previously approved variance pursuant to, it says RES-2025-30 adopted on June 2nd, 2025 for 1.30 acres located at I'm sorry. I just really messed up my notes there. Located at 9465 Highway 5 and Land Lot 160, District 2, Section 5, Parcel ID 0001, application by LJA Engineering, Inc. And Mr. Dana Gray is here to go over this with us.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. Dana Gray, 6758 Spring Street. Staff does not have any updates for this item. The applicant is present.
Okay. Before the applicant comes up, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, do you guys have any questions of Mr. Gray? Coach?
Mr. Gray, I asked this earlier, so I'll ask it for the sake of transparency. If an applicant comes to us with the plan that is in place now for this property, would a variance, be granted or for as many parking spaces as we have now? The variance was based on 4 retail and the gas station, and they asked for a variance to go down to 33 or whatever we have. We're back to 4 retail, even though those retail square footage, and the applicant could start making his way down if you'd like to get in on this. But I'm just wondering if there should not be somewhere in the middle between what's required for the square footage that's there. What's being proposed right now would probably require 48 spaces. And I understand people come to us all the time asking for a variance on parking, but I don't know that we would necessarily go from 48 to where we are now. So anyway,
If I remember correctly, that was what the proposal was for the gas station plus 4 storefronts with that same parking variance, and we were not comfortable with it, and then that's when we got down to the 3 storefronts plus the gas station at the 33 parking spots.
That's correct.
So I'm just wondering if some more parking spaces should not be involved in this, not what it was necessarily. And I don't know if this is the way that we do it. I can't remember this kind of situation where we've already approved a variance for a property and the property's changing back to kind of the original, and we want to keep the variance in place. So I'm just wondering how we would go about doing that, and whether, because once we sign off on it, the number of spaces is the number of spaces. No matter a year from now or 5 years from now, whoever's operating those retail stores and renting them out, leasing them out, it may not be the kind of retail that they're going to initially have in there. Anyway, that was just something that popped to mind on this particular item.
So if you want to talk to the applicant about it and adjust the numbers, then that can definitely be a condition that you placed on that, on the gas station and convenience stores.
Go ahead and come on up, name and address for the record, and this is Madam Chair's item, so I'm going to hush for a minute.
Hello, Terry Boomer, 130 East Main Street, Canton, Georgia, 30114, LJA Engineering. I appreciate the opportunity to present this case again. And I want to address everybody's concern. I don't know if I can satisfy everybody's concern, but it comes down to me, and I'm a math major first and engineer second, just a mathematical problem. So we've got a parking that's based on square footage. When we originally received the variance, we removed the shop space. It wasn't particular as to which shop space. Of the 4 that were presented, all over 2,000 square feet, one of them was to be eliminated. We had one at 1948, one at 2,338, one at 2670, one at 2701, for a total of 24, or excuse me, for an average of 2,400 square feet per shop space. When I left here that evening, and I immediately emailed Chelsea and Dana, the client said, I can't rent a 2,400 square foot shop space. He said, I can rent something below 2,000 to the national tenants. So we were looking at something below 2,000, 1,700 square feet is where we arrived, or 1,880 if we go to what's now presented, 1,798, 2233, 1742, and 1749. The one that's in excess of 2,000 square feet, we're going to kind of earmark for a national tenant coffee donut shop, and they typically run a little over 2,000 square feet for the QSRs. So his theory to keep a viable center active and alive is to keep it rented. We've got a dark space out there today. Well, I'm sorry, it's not dark, but Pop Shelf may not be drawing the rents that a 1,400 square foot Walgreens did at one time. The drugstores across the state of Georgia, across the nation, have been pulling back from their sticks and bricks, their mortar appearance in these bigger stores, 10,000 to 20,000 square feet, and we're trying to backfill them. And we are doing this on several stores now. The backfilling has been very successful to the point that we're not underparked, we're not overparked, we're adequately parked. With a smaller shop, my opinion, I'm in and out because I'm going there for a single purchase, a single service, and I'm going to be in a 1,700 square foot store, pick up my goods and services, and leave. So the need for the long-term parking, the more shopping for a Walmart or your bigger box stores, even your mid-box stores, even an Office Max, isn't there. And if you looked at the Walgreens over history, aerial over time, and a Walgreens sells a wide array of sundries. They've got anything. You can get drinks in there, you can get drugs in there, legal drugs, excuse me. You can get whatever you need in there, but you're in and out. It's a convenience item. We're going to subsidize the renovation of this backfilling and repurposing of this building with the convenience store. The convenience store is our money generator, and it's been our revenue generator on many of these tenant backfills. So the convenience store by nature, even though Douglas County may have a 5-0 ratio, or excuse me, City of Douglasville may have a 5-0 ratio on the square footage and parking ratio, we know as by convenience by nature, we're going to get our gas, we're going to go in, and we're going to leave. We're not going to sit there and read a book all day. We're not a Barnes & Noble. We're not something that's going to cause long-term parking. So I don't know if I've answered your question. I just wanted to let you know where we're coming from, why we didn't try to negate what you had previously approved. We tried to make it make sense for us and the market out there that's available to us. The building stays 14,000 square feet. The parking stays at 33. It's just an internal math equation that changes. So I'm here to answer any additional specific questions, and I hope I didn't run on.
Thank you so much for going over all of that and your attempt to answer everyone's questions that I know we've had. For me, it doesn't change kind of where I'm at, because my concern, of course, is the community, the residents, the traffic patterns. And I know that we have these ordinances set up for a reason, for a specific amount of parking spots per square footage per storefront, and we've already decreased it significantly. So if we're opening another storefront, I think I would like to see us go up in parking spaces just a little to kind of counteract that.
I would and I appreciate that, absolutely. I would rather leave with a bird in the hand and just downsize the original variance. It didn't leave me with the answer of whether it's the 1948 or the 2701 shop space that I'm to eliminate. But if I'm to eliminate a shop space, I'd rather go back to the previously approved variance and just leave with what I have had.
Okay. And I know that comes from me, and of course, I feel like we have to kind of protect the city and the direction that we're moving. But I don't want to speak for everyone, so I would like to hear from Mayor Pro Tem, especially being as how that's your ward.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do understand what the argument that you're making. There is a logic to that based on the usage of those spaces from a retail standpoint, so I appreciate the explanation. I do understand also Madam Chair's point that, we try not to set exceptions as precedents when we do approval, so that, if we give an exception for this particular property, then we're going to be inundated with exception requests or variance requests, and so we have to be ever dutiful over how we make these decisions. If I'm leaning one way or the other, I'm going to say that my experience in retail development and design says that, that we almost invariably oversupply parking in most of these types of places. So I'm a little less concerned about the number of spaces relative to the tenants. We could play around and tweak those spaces a bit more, I'm sure, if we wanted to avoid that fourth tenant space, but I do also understand the nature of, you've got to have a successful development to make it even worthwhile. I don't know that I've ever seen, going by that property most days, with the intensive usage when it was a Walgreens, I'm not sure that I ever saw that parking lot even close to full. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, so.
No, and that's exactly what we need to hear. Anyone else? Oh, Councilman Estes, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree with Mayor Pro Tem. It's rare that I go to any retail establishment other than Hudson's and have a problem finding parking space. And that's a nice corner that I hate to see sit fallow. So to me, I'd rather give this a try. If it ends up being an issue or a problem, then we can address that in the future. But I hate to handicap, personally, bad choice of words, I'm sorry.
I knew when I came in here I was in a wheelchair.
I don't want to prevent what could be a positive development for the community, quibbling over a couple of parking spaces. So that's how I feel.
And that's why there's so many of us up here, okay? That's
Yes.
exactly what I
Thank
needed.
you.
Thank you. Do you have anything to add to that, ma'am?
Nothing to add.
Okay. All right, well, looks like I have my marching orders. Okay, well, did you have anything else to add?
I just appreciate
Okay.
everything y'all do. Thank you.
All right. Well, I appreciate my counsel for all of their hearty conversation. With that being said, I will make a motion that we approve item number 26-219.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a motion to approve item 26-219 on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Councilman Estes has made the second. Do we have any discussion or further comment or questions or issues regarding this matter? Hearing none. All right. All those in favor of approving item 26-219, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 26-219 is approved as presented.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Have one final item, and that is item number 26-226. It says to consider a request to adopt, a proposed ordinance to amend Article 3 of the Unified Development Ordinance to add a new subsection 3.08 and amend subsections 2.02 and 8.01 for a new zoning classification. Mr. Gray.
All right, we do have some updates for this item. We updated the lot development standards to have a maximum lot area, 5 acres for new development, and minimum individual lot area still at 4,000 square feet. Within the development design standards, I'm going to read the update. Covered porches shall be a minimum of 6 feet deep. Columns shall be decorative, and for example, round fluted, plain square, square recessed, and square fluted, just to give a couple of examples. Community Development Director or designee shall review designs for approval, and then railing shall be optional. The next update is roofing, architectural asphalt shingles, and standing seam metal roof. Metal roof shall be a neutral color, and for example, charcoal gray, deep blue, forest green, beige, and terracotta. Again, the Community Development Director or designee shall review designs for approval. And that concludes.
So, Mr. Gray, does that mean that only those 2 types of roofing materials are allowed?
Yes.
Okay. But there could always be a variance if there was something else.
Correct.
And if I come to you then with 6-acre plot, we cannot do that.
Correct.
Okay. I know that it's been a lot of work and a lot of field trips and a lot of studying, so I really appreciate staff and all of your diligence on bringing this together. Mayor Pro Tem, Council, do you guys have questions, comments of this item? Okay. Well, with that being said, I make a motion that we approve item number 26-226.
We have a motion on the floor to approve item 26-226. Do I hear a second?
Second?
Councilman Estes has made the second. Any further discussion, comments, or consideration regarding this item? Seeing none, all those in favor of item 26-226, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? No one opposed. Item 26-226 is approved.
Mayor Pro Tem, that is all that we have this evening for planning and development.
Thank you, Councilwoman Miller. Our next committee is back to you, Councilwoman Miller, is Public Improvement and Beautification.
Yes, sir, we have no business this evening for public improvement and beautification.
Thank you, Councilwoman Miller. Next committee is Public Relations, Councilman Sam Davis.
No business at this time, sir.
Thank you, Councilman Davis. The next committee is Public Safety, chaired by Councilman Estes.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We have no business for the Public Safety Committee this evening.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. Moving on to Recreation, Culture, and Tourism, Councilman Watts.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. No business tonight in Recreation, Culture, and Tourism.
Thank you, Councilman Watts. Our next committee is Technology, Councilman DeVitri and Caldwell.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We have no business under Technology Committee this evening.
Thank you, Councilman Caldwell. And last but certainly not least, our Transportation Committee, chaired by Councilwoman Elena Hudson.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. No business this evening under transportation.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hudson. Is there any other business that any member of the council would like to present at this time? Okay, then we will move on to updates from city staff. We do not have any attorneys in the room, so we will move on to the Deputy Police Chief, J.R. Davidson.
No business, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. City Manager, Marcia Frazier.
No business, Mayor Pro Tem,
How did we manage to proceed without an attorney in the room?
because we verified previous to the meeting.
We are awesome. Thank you. All right, so we are now at the time on Sprockets when we hear comments from citizens and delegates. If anyone would like to come up at this time and share your thoughts and concerns with the city of Douglasville, now is your chance. And it appears we have no takers tonight. And so seeing that, there's no other business to come before the city council at this time. This meeting is adjourned.